Hey everybody, hey, my name is Darius Anucauskas and I'm the Chief Market Analyst here at Markets.com, and today is Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, the 6th of August 2025. Look, I wanted to quickly do a little quick crypto update as I kind of nowadays normally do every week. I think those are quite useful. Let me know in the comments if you believe those are useful or not. But anyway, I'll still do those. Yeah, it's a little, like I said, a quick little technical outlook to see what's happening and what has happened so far. Before we jump into any of that action, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So yes, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest. I'm not going to disappear anywhere. So yeah, basically what I do is I look at the technicals, of course, pick up on a bit of fundamental, we go from there basically, right? I mean, let's see what's oh, by the way, before we see what's happening with the cryptos, just a quick mentioning of our Markets.com website, which you can always check out for more information about us. If you have any questions, reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to assist. Ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin. Okay, in my morning webinars in general, like I was talking about, I have been talking about this a lot already. Yeah, look, BTC USD, after falling through the lower side of this little channel little range, not channel, sorry, little range here, which was roughly between the 116K and 120K, we fell through the lower side of it, traveled lower. I was saying that, look, I'm targeting the 112 zone. I talked about this last week, the week before that as well. And we tested that 112. That's great because previously it was a good area of resistance. Now it's a good area of support. So we found support also near this upside line, as you can see here. This is the lowest point of April of 2025. And we are now rebounding a little bit. So okay, that's all fine, that's all good. Now, purely from the technical perspective, we're still, let's say, bullish because we're still above the upside line. However, we need to be very careful because we keep on testing this upside line, and the more tests we get, the more kind of possibility for it to break eventually. That said, I would actually prefer to wait for a drop below this 112 territory because, look, it might drop lower, it might break this upside line, drift a little bit to the downside, test the 112, rebound, and push back up. Why? Because maybe we'll then establish a slightly bigger range in a way. Which will be between 112 and 112 and 120K. So I don't like ranges. I like the breakouts out of those ranges. Well, actually, maybe you can say that I do like ranges in that case because I do like the breakouts out of those ranges. Anyway, you got the picture. So for now, I would say this way: if you're looking for some higher levels, I think that it's better to wait for maybe a pushback somewhere above this 116 territory. I'm not saying that it's a guaranteed move that from where it's going to go higher or something. No, but it's just it was a key area of support previously. Now it could take the role of resistance. So if we can clear that zone, the 116 territory, then yes, my next target is the 120, and then we'll go from there. For the downside, yes, the 112 still for me is the best one because even if we do travel a little bit more to the upside, let's say up until this 116, let's say it decides to break eventually this upside line. Like I said, this would be that little zone which kind of would be a little bit uncertain for us, and we wouldn't know. Maybe it would go lower. Maybe, like I said, it could find support again near the 112 and just kind of rebound again. But that's why I prefer the 112 to anything else here for the downside scenario. But again, with the downside scenario, look, we do understand that there's a lot of hype still around, Bitcoin and around the institutional side of it, how it's capturing a lot of institutions. But if you remember, in one of my videos, recent videos, I talked about that how kind of the cryptos are slightly losing their I wouldn't say attractiveness, but well, actually maybe attractiveness, but it basically losing its essence, so that before, you remember like the days when it was unregulated, and you could move money, and it's like it was a tool that would help everybody to kind of, if you're against the system in a way, like this was the deal, right? This was the thing. Now it's getting regulated, and basically yeah, losing its essence in a way. Yes, on one hand, it's great for those investors who are searching for something new to invest in, and basically, they're, hey, let's invest into Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is a little bit unregulated, and we have those companies that kind of get bankrupt and everything. So now you have a more stable provider like BlackRock, Vanguard, and you can invest into an ETF. And in that sense, good. Okay. Anyway, look, ladies and gentlemen, for now, like I said, with Bitcoin, BTC USD here, you got the picture. So this is what I'm watching. Let's see how this is going to play out. Bitcoin Cash, very quickly. Look, I talked about this morning. Basically, we're still in this rising channel formation. We're somewhere like around midpoint, but what I'm liking here is the 563 territory, which provided fantastic resistance. We had a few overshoots here, but a few false breakouts, but we remained below this hurdle. And if we do stay below this hurdle still, then yep, I will consider maybe a little bit of a move to the downside. A drop below the 513.14 zone, somewhere around here, could do the trick for a few more sellers, because at the same time we would break the lower side of this rising channel. At the same time, we would break below the 50-day EMA here, shown as the green line on my chart, on my daily chart. And yep, this could open the door to some lower levels. A break of this downside line, the short-term tentative downside resistance line taken from the high of the 27th of July, could increase the chances for a move higher towards the next target around 600, maybe a little bit above that. So be careful here for now. I mean, this is what's happening. It's like it's a nice little perpendicular line here. It looks like more like a block here, to be honest, like a barrier. But to be honest, it is a barrier, and it is something that if we overcome, could open the door to some higher areas. Ethereum, very quickly. Ethereum is stalling for now. Yes, it's still attractive. The fact that it pushed back above this 3,500 kind of, okay, I have it at 68 here, but in general, look, it's not really, I would say it's somewhere like 3,550. We pushed back above the 3,550 zone, not the level, but the zone. And this is kind of still somewhat of a positive kind of occurrence. However, I don't like this whenever we are starting to kind of move sideways like this, and like there's no clear formation. So, okay, some of you might say, hey, maybe it's a falling channel here. Let me just draw this. I want to show you what I'm talking about. Maybe this is like a falling channel or something. Why is this? Oh, delete. I see. So this is my colleague kind of removing the borders. Let me just, yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I am talking about. So maybe it's this. Maybe. Again, not picture perfect, to be honest. I would wish it could be a little bit better, but okay. Let's assume that this is a falling channel right now. So while we remain inside the pattern, the trend could remain to the downside, the short-term trend. However, if we clear the upper side, yes, it could open the door to some higher levels. But if you're, like I said, if you're on the cautious side, I'm not going to blame you, because if we do pop above the 3,940-41 zone right here, then this would confirm a forthcoming higher high, potentially attracting more buyers into the game. Ripple, very quickly. This one's struggling with the psychological 3 level. This morning I talked about this and I said, look, I need a push above the psychological 3 level in order to get comfortable with some higher areas. So far we're like below the 3 zone, but again, I would say we're kind of oscillating around that 3 level. So yes, long story short, let's see what's going to happen here, which way we're going to go. That's why my downside scenario is on a break below the 50-day EMA. If we do drop below the 50-day EMA, I'm going to lean a little bit more to the downside. Litecoin. Litecoin, beautiful rejection here from this downside line taken from the highest point of December of 2024. Yes, we had an overshoot here. That's fine. But if you click on the weekly, it's basically a false breakout. So, long story short, for now, I'm watching this very carefully. I do like this one still to the downside as long as we stay below the downside line. However, more bears could join in if we do drop below the 106.60 territory, and then we'll just kind of take it from there. Dogecoin. Dogecoin is yeah, it's an interesting one, and if we are looking at some lower levels here, I would say, well, probably wait for if it for the fact for wait for a drop below the 0.1883 zone, something like that. This way we could then target the this upside line. Basically, we could go for a full correction here towards this upside line, which is drawn from the lowest point of August of 2024. For the upside, some of you probably would look at this little steep downside line. Let me fix it. There we go. So this steep downside line, on a break of it, we could also break above all the EMAs here on the daily chart, and yeah, we could this could open the door to some higher areas. But again, just be very careful. We do have a bunch of obstacles here on the way higher, and yeah, it's a little bit tricky here. But yeah, I mean, if it does break this downside line, I will lean a little bit more towards the upside, and I'll target maybe this little area right here near the 0.2485, and then we'll take it from there. Polkadot. Polkadot, also a similar story, downside line still holding, and yeah, we need a good clearance. I think if you're looking for some downside, yes, there is a possibility for this, but I would prefer to wait for a drop below the 3.3989 zone here, and then we could just take it from there. For the upside, look, for the upside, I guess a break of this downside is needed, and also a push above the 50-day EMA here would be nice as well. And finally, Tron, just a quick update on Tron. I like it. It's still to the upside. As long as we trade above this upside line, I'm continuing to aim higher. Simple as that. But at this point, maybe if you're looking for some higher levels, like higher highs, then yeah, like wait for maybe a push at least above the 0.3439 zone, because at the moment we don't know if this is going to end up in maybe in a double top here or something like that. But let's see. For now, yes, I'm leaning towards the upside. Let's see if we can continue to trade above this upside line. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's a quick update, a quick technical update on the cryptos. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you agree or you don't agree? And or in general, maybe you want to share your own opinion. So yeah, more than welcome. And yeah, we'll go from there. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you'll stay safe. Have your stop losses in place. Risk only what you can afford to lose. Don't overtrade, and everything will be fine. I'll see you next time in my next little video update. Bye for now.